What is up, guys, and welcome to the finale of F1 2016 Career Mode Season 3. Looking at the championship standings right now, this is a three-way fight for the title. Essentially, this final race in Abu Dhabi will be a winner-takes-all scenario because the points are so close. The gap from first to second in terms of points will be 7. So, yeah, it's essentially... the goal is win the race, win the championship, and do it in style. So, here we are for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, as always, working on the resource points and just working in Friday practice just to get the setup right and just get into the groove of this racetrack. So, this is probably one of the most important sessions of the year. It's going to be crucial for us to get on the pace early, find a nice setup that's going to work for us, and you can see there, Lewis catches up and overtakes us on our very first lap there. So, unfortunately, practice 1, the pace was pretty slow. The car was pretty slow out of the box, and we ended up in 22nd place. So, practice 2 now, we're more focusing on 1 lap pace, so this should be a better gauge as to where we stand in terms of our overall raw pace in this Formula 1 grid. Traditionally, Abu Dhabi hasn't been the best of circuits for me on F1 2016, so hopefully we can change that in this weekend's Grand Prix. Through the final corner, we're going to go green on our target lap of, I think it's 9th place, and we actually get P9 in that session. So, fast forwarding to the end of the session now, we're doing another run on the purple striped ultra soft tyres, and hopefully we can find even more gains over the course of the lap. In terms of the setup that I'm running this weekend, it's a fairly neutral one. Essentially the same setup I've been running over the course of the last season. So it's served me well right up until this point. So there should be no reason why it shouldn't work for me in the finale. Practice is over. Pace was not the greatest. So we'll have some work to do when we get to qualifying.
It's Saturday afternoon here at Yas Marina, where the drivers are about to embark on a challenging qualifying session, ready for tomorrow's Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
Okay, you should be able to get into the next qualifying session easily, so try to get a hot lap in early so we can save the tyres.
Alright, so here we are for qualifying. Hopefully we can get through this first session without a hitch. I was very, very tempted to start this weekend with a very aggressive soft compound tyre strategy, but I decided not to in the efforts of making our race a little bit better and having harder compounds of tyres to use. Otherwise I could have used the ultra softs all through qualifying if I would have went a little bit more aggressive, but I think we have the pace, and that shows at the end of our first lap. It was only a banker. It was really only to get us through that first session on the 1 lap so that we could utilize the ultra softs for another run in qualifying 2. Lewis goes out first, and I decided to wait until the end of the session to put on a brand spanking new set of ultra soft tyres, and surprise, surprise, on my golden run, or on my proper run, I get some traffic in the form of one of the banana cars, so that was a little bit annoying, not gonna lie. But coming through the final corner now, this should see a slight improvement. I say slight, it was 1.3 seconds faster than the used set of ultra soft tyres that I used in qualifying 1 and the start of the qualifying 2 session. Quite a massive jump. Now we're here for qualifying 3. I put in a banker. No, I didn't. This is my only run here in this session. Yeah, because I used 1 brand new set in Q1, 1 brand new set in Q2, so I only had the final set of ultra soft tyres to use in this final session here. So I decided to wait till the end of the session, and here we are now on our final qualifying lap. The pace hasn't really improved over the course of the weekend, and it's been a little bit disappointing. We didn't get the best run in qualifying 2 with the traffic, so hopefully we can be inside the top 5. Lewis has been lightning quick all weekend. He's been right up there challenging the Red Bull, so I don't know what Lewis has got going on there with his setup or his car, but he is absolutely flying in this finale. Through the final sector now, and this is actually where I lose a lot of my time versus the AI. The Red Bulls are just dominant in this 3rd sector, and you know, without reason as well, because their car is just so hooked up. They got so much mechanical grip. I feel like in general over the course of this weekend, I've been struggling with understeer, but hopefully in the race, my understeery car can hopefully look after my tyres better. But this is qualifying through the final corner. I don't know why I'm talking about the racing qualifying. Up to the line. Is it good enough for pole? Of course it's not.
It's a bit disappointing, but we just need to push hard in the race and we can still come away with something.
I think it was very ambitious to target pole position there. We were never going to look like getting pole over a course of a lap. And even Lewis has struggled as well. He's in P6 on the grid for this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Not quite the top 5 where I was aiming for, but a 5, maybe 4/10 improvement would have seen me inside the top 5. So, you know, we're not too far away, but in saying that, when you compare that to Daniel Ricciardo's time, 1.4 seconds is an absolutely huge margin to give up to one of your championship rivals. Ricciardo was a lot quicker than everyone else, but still, our lack of pace is actually quite worrying. You know, Brazil, USA, you know, all those other tracks, we looked quite competitive here or there, but in this one, I don't really see how we can make up the pace, and that is very, very scary in a finale when everything is on the line. That's it for qualifying. Hopefully in the race, like I said, we can look after the tyres, and maybe with some fuel in the car, we can be a lot more competitive. It's time for the finale of Season 4, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
Darkness is descending on Abu Dhabi this evening, but there's no thought of rest for the 11 teams working feverishly on the grid. The lights are on, and we prepare to go racing one final time.
We're still in with a shot at the driver's title. It's down to this. Now go out there and come back a champion.
I really wish it was that easy, Jeff, but I'm going to try and do my best. Let's not kid ourselves today. We don't have the quickest car, so we're going to have to rely on a beastly strategy, maybe a timely safety car or something like that, but anything's possible. This is F1 after all. Let's go to the grid. Here we go, guys. This is what the last 20 races have come down to. The finale is underway in Abu Dhabi, and it looks like we actually got off to a beastly start there, initially jumping Vettel off the line, and now we're alongside our teammate into turn 1. That's us in a P5. Wow. Amazing start. Couldn't have asked for anything better, and now we are pretty much on the back of Verstappen now. All we've got to do is get around Hulkenberg, and we'll be inside the top 4 and essentially halving our grid position. There we go, up the inside. Very aggressive right off the start. I was really looking to make a mark in the early laps of this Grand Prix. The AI can sometimes, you know, rest on their laurels a little bit, and we took full advantage. Next up is the man we've been chasing the entirety of this season. You know, we started off in the Haas, we're now in the Mercedes. We've been closing them in race by race, and now all we've got to do is get in front of that Red Bull right there. There's actually a bit of contact there between one of the Ferraris and also my teammate. We'll see on the replay. This is Kimi Räikkönen going for a dive up the inside of my teammate there, Lewis Hamilton. There's, left rear contact with the Mercedes driver, and if you looked on that replay there was absolutely no sign of Sebastian Vettel in the top half of that order, so I'm not too sure what happened to him. I know he was caught on the outside of myself and Lewis heading into turn 1 and possibly got overtaken by a couple of guys, and when that happens you can lose a lot of momentum, a lot of time and positions, especially on the first lap, so it wouldn't surprise me to see that be the reason why he's down the order at the moment. But I was going to say, if we could catch and pass Verstappen, then that would be our championship almost done and won in the books, but unfortunately we just didn't have the pace to run with he or the Red Bulls or even Sergio Perez, who was actually leading the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix for the opening couple of laps. He had amazing straight line speed, but we just didn't have anything to match it with those guys, so I had to come in early for the undercut, and hopefully jump Verstappen that way. As you can see here, this is Lewis getting caught up behind my pit stop there. Only cost him about a second, but it was very fluid from the Mercedes team to service both cars at the same time without harming both drivers. So kudos to those guys. And now we've got to push on this lap to make up that time on Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen, who are stopping on the very next lap. Here's a replay of the start here. Ricciardo on pole. I think he got the jump over Verstappen initially, but you can see both the Force Indias there trying to challenge the Red Bulls into turn 1. We got past both our teammate and Vettel off the start. That was an amazing start, probably best of the season, and boy did we need that. Heading into this first chicane here, this is where we got up the inside of Hulkenberg, and that was us inside the top 4. So if I needed a beastly start, it was definitely this race, so I'm very glad I got that under the books there. But this is a live reaction replay of a incident between the manner of Pascal Wehrlein getting very close to his teammate there, Rio Haryanto, and then he makes contact with one of the Williams, which sends him into the barriers. Now, he's lost his front wing. I don't know how he's kept his tyres on his car and managed to rejoin in the train like nothing happened. That was actually pretty spectacular. On board with Magnussen, you'll be able to see a better picture of the story. And yeah, just contact on the side pod of Bottas, I think it was, that sent him into the wall. Now, just bear in mind, I am right behind this battle pack here, and I've just made my pit stop. So these guys are all slowing up so much because Pascal is right at the head of this train with no front wing. So this is really harming my race here in terms of lap time. We've been squeezed out by the Sauber, and we almost ran into the other Sauber in the process. Like, what is going on here with the midfield runners? They're just absolutely crazy trying to defend position when I'm not even in the same race as these guys, and this is just absolutely murdering my race here, because Max Verstappen is just going to come out in the lead by about 5 or 6 seconds. We've lost so much time, stuck behind all those cars that were pretty much stationary through the third sector. And there's Verstappen. Ricciardo is nowhere to be seen. I actually overtook him in the massive kerfuffle of that midfield battling, and we rejoin in P11, some 5 or 6 seconds behind Max Verstappen. So although we've got in front of one Red Bull, we are massively trailing behind the other, and this is going to be a massive blow for our championship hopes. Here's a replay of us going around the outside of the Sauber. We get squeezed off onto the curbing there, locking up millimeters away from slamming into the other Sauber and potentially ending our championship right there. But somehow we kept it alive, kept it going, and actually, given how much traffic I was in, I don't think I lost too much time versus, you know, some of the other guys like Ricciardo, for example. And here, that was just pure desperation trying to get up the inside of the Williams. And yeah, puts us massively on the back foot for the second half of this race.
Conditions should remain dry. We will keep you informed of any changes to the weather.
Cheers for that one, Jeffrey. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind it's going to stay dry for the rest of this race, but we carry on to lap 7 now. We're catching up to another small train here involving Perez, Kvyat and Bottas. The only guy here in this train that we're really concerned with is Perez, and he's already cleared that group of cars. So just going back to what I saw earlier, there was a shot on track of Verstappen rejoining. He was on the ultra soft tyres, so we might see him in again in about 1, 2 or 3 laps time, and he might be making an extra pit stop in this race. Personally, not the strategy that I would go for, but at least it gives us possibly one small glimmer of hope in the way that Verstappen has to re-overtake us in this Grand Prix again. So things might look bad at the moment, but they're not entirely over just yet. Not until Verstappen gets back in front of us once he makes his second stop. So hopefully we'll continue to march through the field like we are at the moment, and maybe once Verstappen comes in, he can get stuck behind the guys on the soft compound tyres that we just rounded up there. So at the moment we're trailing Perez by about 6 seconds, and essentially he's the guy in this race that we're racing. He's the benchmark, and he's on the same strategy as us. So hopefully Perez can stay out and possibly take the lead of this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and he actually has now in lap 10. So yeah, if he can stay out in front, that's more points he's taking away from Verstappen, which in turn makes it easier for me, because the lower down the order we both finish, the easier it is going to be for me to win the championship if Verstappen might overtake me by a position or two. But as you can see here, this is Kimi Räikkönen on the same strategy as Max Verstappen. Somehow he's got out in front of him, and now he's in P2. I decided to let him go on the straight on the previous lap, and then straight away he makes a pit stop. So it cost me a little bit of time, which was a little frustrating. Lap 11, and we're starting to get close to our pit window now. The tyres are at about 30%. So from about here onwards, the tyres start to drop off quite a bit. Being on the soft compound tyres, our pace is not going to be flattering at all, and you can see that already. We're getting caught up by Grosjean now, who is on the super soft tyres. Now Grosjean, normally, well, he's not in a quick car, so I don't really want to be letting him go, but he overtakes me around the outside. I make contact with the left rear tyre of his, and it's a side-by-side affair. I really don't want to give up this pit position, but at the same time, I don't want to be squabbling too much and losing too much time. But here comes Grosjean once again, and I thought, just for the overall betterment of my race, I let him go. He's on a faster compounded tyre. Potentially, we can just let him go and stick in the slipstream, and he can drag us along in this race. But our tyres are at a point where we really can't do anything at this stage, and that is Verstappen now on the back of Nico Hülkenberg, putting pressure on him. So he's going to be the danger man. We've got to watch out for him and Hülkenberg now as he lines up a move now on this second DRS straight. Verstappen moves to the inside. I've covered, but Verstappen still goes right across the white lines and overtakes me up the inside as well. I try and go for a counter. Nothing on there. And Verstappen has found his way in front of me again. Oh dear. Oh dearie me. You can quite clearly see I'm frustrated in the cockpit because we've just let Verstappen go through again.
Lewis has entered the pit lane. He's in the pits. Verstappen is ahead of you. Gap to car in front is 2.1 seconds. You're losing 3 seconds a lap. They're on old super softs. We think they've got one more stop.
Man, that's frustrating. Any other AI car, and they probably wouldn't have gone for that move up the inside there. He was literally right on the limits of the track limits, going up my inside there, but he went for the move, he got the position, and well, that was all she wrote. So I've got to respond immediately. I'm going to put on the super soft tyres and run to the end of the race now. Be very aggressive with the strategy, I guess very forward thinking, trying to get the undercut, and hopefully by the time Verstappen does come in, we should have the track position on him once again. Now the crucial part of this race now is making sure we have the lap time or the speed to actually be faster than Verstappen over the next 3 or 4 laps until he makes his stop. That's going to be crucial for us not getting held up in traffic, which we are catching up to now in the form of Nico Hülkenberg. So he has come in, and so is Verstappen. Verstappen has rejoined in front of us.
The difference is 9.2 seconds. They're on old super softs. We think they've got one more stop.
So this is going to be interesting now. With 11 laps to go in this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, we are on the back foot and we are behind Max Verstappen by 2 positions. So I think the order as it is at the moment, Perez leads, Hülkenberg in second effectively, Verstappen third, I might be fourth. Verstappen has actually got in front of Hülkenberg now, so this is going to be interesting. I've got to hope to get in front of Hülkenberg, and that might put me effective P3 in this race. And if things stay as they are with Max Verstappen in second, I will win the championship by 2 points. But I've got to make that move stick on Hülkenberg, which we have done now. And hopefully we can catch Verstappen. I'm not too sure what tyres he's on. He might be on the soft compound tyres. So that might give me some kind of lap time advantage. But his tyre wear is going to be much better than mine throughout the entirety of this final stint. That wasn't a good run onto the final corner, it must be said. Now, lap 19, here comes Hülkenberg once again. Slipstream, DRS, this is not what I need right now. I should be making lap time on the super soft tyres, trying to catch Verstappen. And, yeah, this battling is really costing me here. This is the onboard with Hülkenberg. He tried to go for a lunge up the inside, but I was so impatient. I didn't want to let him go through. I didn't want to battle with him. So I just turned in for the corner, knowing full well I could have been taken out there. or I could have turned across him, or we could have had contact or whatever. I thought it was worth the risk of staying out in front of him just to get the clean air and also the track position. But as you can see here, that was just a running camera shot of the order at the moment. Perez in first, Max Verstappen second, and Romain Grosjean in third place. He's played himself in beautifully with the strategy today.
Okay, gap ahead is 3.0 seconds. You're dropping back by around 0.2 each lap. They're on fresh softs. The time last lap was a 1:40.8. Some information on Verstappen. They have an issue with their car. They're going to be slow.
Oh, hang on a second. Max Verstappen has a problem with his car. Okay, so he hasn't got a puncture at the moment, looking at the onboard shot there. We'll have to analyse his car behaviour there. Looking into that braking zone, wasn't really going slow either, but Hülkenberg has overtaken us. We definitely can't afford to let him go in front of us now with Verstappen limping and potentially falling into the clutches of Grosjean. This really makes things interesting now with 7 laps to go in this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. I'm really going to spur on Grosjean here to catch Verstappen, who is limping at the moment. Some kind of problem. We don't know what it is. It looks like he's carrying speed fine. So it's not a braking or tyre issue. It might be ERS deployment or something like that. He is about a second or two slower. And here you can see Grosjean has caught him. Now this might be the moment where he gets in front of him and puts us in a championship winning position. Here he goes. Grosjean in the slipstream. DRS. Hopefully rich revs as well. And there he goes. Verstappen has been demoted to third place. And now the difference, as it is at the moment, will only be 3 points. So if it stays like it is right now, we will win the championship by 2 points. But it's not over yet. I want to catch Verstappen and overtake him myself and put the championship back in my control and really put this championship to bed that way, because he could still recover from this if the team fixes his car.
Our gap to the car in front is 2.4 seconds. You're closing in by around 1.4 seconds a lap.
Yeah, so we're catching him quite considerably now. Sometimes these issues can resolve themselves, so we just want to minimize that risk and get in front of him as soon as we can. Here comes Hülkenberg. Oh, well, okay, he backed out of it. Okay.
Some information on Verstappen. It seems they fixed whatever the problem was. They're coming back up to speed.
No, you're actually kidding me. Just as we start catching Verstappen, his car has been fixed now, so... Wow. What a way to finish this championship. We have 5 laps to go. We know Verstappen is faster than us. We got the gap down to about a second or two, but now he's just going to pull away and close in on Romain Grosjean once again. Our championship now completely depends on Romain Grosjean staying in second place and keeping the points off of Max Verstappen at the moment. Sergio Perez has actually made a pit stop as well, and he was on the same strategy as I was, so that promotes us up into third, with Romain Grosjean now leading this race. Now if Grosjean loses this position now, it is well and truly over for the championship. There will be no catching him. I've got nothing in defense now because my tires are at 60-70%. I went for that aggressive undercut strategy, and it's really costing me at the back end here. So unless there's some kind of miracle safety car, then we have no control over our destiny in this championship. Here comes Verstappen. He's in the slipstream. He's got DRS. He moves to the inside, and now he's taken the lead of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. That sucks. That really sucks. But what can you do? Verstappen has been the quickest car all day. He's played himself in really well. He had the extra stop strategy with the ultra softs, and he's really made this race work. We really should have defended better at times and made better decisions with our strategy, but looks like Verstappen is going to go on to win this one, which is very unfortunate. Now we've got to defend from Perez, who has just given us a massive hit up the arse into the first chicane. Somehow we managed to keep that alive and actually not get a corner cutting penalty. As you see here, he moved to the inside and just gave our rear end a swipe and completely destabilized the car and sent us flying into the infield. Here's the onboard with Perez. I'm a bit all over the place with the tyre wear, and Perez goes outside then inside and kind of just runs into me and sends me flying. I had to mount over the curbs and just rejoin in front of him. So thankfully the game saw the logic there and realised I wasn't corner cutting and actually got hit off there and had no control over where my car was going. Here comes Perez again. I still don't want to give up this position, even though it is ultimately over for this championship, but just in case Verstappen makes a mistake or something like that, I want to be in third place to really capitalize on any kind of mistakes. We go up the inside of Perez, squeeze him to the absolute limit. Perez is mounted to the curb, up on 2 wheels, squeeze me off the track, and that's an illegal overtake warning, which we had to supersede the position back to Perez. So in the slipstream, he has the DRS, rich revs. I'm running very low on fuel at the moment, trying to get back to third place, and with tyre wear, nothing I can do, unfortunately, with the guys who are on much fresher tyres. So I'm just going to dig in, keep pushing, make sure I hold on to as much track position as I can. Raikkonen is now getting very ballsy on me on the run into turn 1. When the AI go for a dive up the inside, or whenever I slightly move to the inside, they decide to just hit me up the arse every time. I got touched there by Raikkonen into that corner, and then into turn 1, and there's been multiple times over the course of this video, you might have seen it, where the AI just run into my rear diffuser because they don't really fancy changing their line, which is a little bit annoying. You can see the tyre wear there, 65% on all 4 tyres pretty much, so the tyres are well past their use by date, and it's really hard trying to lean on them, especially while battling another car and trying to give them space and manage a whole various amount of things. But we hold on to the inside there, we hold on to P4, but I think it might only be for a few more corners now as Raikkonen goes for another. Oh, he's touched me again. He tried going to the inside, but there was absolutely no room there, so he hits me up the arse and gives me another touch to really ponder there. But we're on the final lap. Final sector of this Grand Prix now, and I think Verstappen will be crossing the line any second now, so we're just waiting for that confirmation for our championship to be over. We're very close on fuel, and we are 0.004 down on fuel, so we may run out of fuel at the end of this race yet. I've just been pushing so hard, using as much fuel as I can to defend. And there we go. Max Verstappen has won the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and with that, he takes the championship for Season 3 of F1 2016 Career Mode. I'm out of fuel as we go through the final corner, and typical, we've lost all those positions.
Look, we've missed out on the title, and I know you're disappointed, but you've done a fantastic job this season. Really fantastic. We'll go one better next year.
And so the celebrations begin, and well earned they are indeed. It may have looked simple at times, but as any racing driver will tell you, competing at this level, at the very top, is anything but simple. There's no catching them now then. We have a new World Drivers' Champion.
So there we go, guys. That is the end of Season 3 of F1 2016 Career Mode. Max Verstappen is your champion. And with a few laps to go there, I honestly thought we were in with a solid chance of winning when Grosjean took the lead and Verstappen had his car issues. But in the end, it wasn't to be. He just had the pace overall this weekend, which was something that we didn't have. We never looked like we were a top 5 car, and when you're the championship leader, when you have a small points difference to not only Sebastian Vettel but Verstappen as well, it makes things very hard to win the championship at a track like this. So, not too sure what happened, but Verstappen in the end was the better driver, made better decisions, and in the end he won the race on track. He even overtook me once or twice there. So, he is your champion. He wins by 14 points in the end there, and well, it doesn't really make things look close. Just a shame that I lost so many positions, like literally on the final corner, 3 positions lost to Raikkonen, Hamilton, and someone else, just by running out of fuel. Absolutely mental, but that's been this season, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. I really tried to give it a solid go there with the final half of the season. Once we joined Mercedes, I think we won like 4, 5, or 6 races, a few podiums as well, and we turned our season prospects into, you know, rebuilding for Season 4 once we joined Haas, to now looking like we were going to win the championship. But yeah, I guess it's going to have to wait till next year once the Mercedes is really a true challenger. We're not quite there yet. I feel like we're still around about half a second slower than Red Bull, but with some upgrades that we've been you know, sitting on the back burner with the resource points, once those come into effect for Season 4, things are going to be much closer, and we're going to be challenging for the Constructors title as well. But that's been this season, guys. Thank you so much for watching. The support on my career mode videos is absolutely mental, so I can only say thank you so much for watching. If you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe to see plenty more F1 videos. As it stands at the moment, I'm going to be going away for a little while, so career mode won't be back for another week or two, something like that. So once we're back, we're going to be back with a bang with the Australian Grand Prix, and I think going forward I might be going back to livecom. I think that might help speed up the video making process and allow me to get these episodes out much quicker. So yeah, there we go. I'm going to stop rambling. Season 4 will be the last one of F1 2016, whether we win the Constructors or not. So I want to make it a very enjoyable season. So, okay, no more rambling. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what your favourite moment of the season was. And until Season 4 of F1 2016 career mode, it won't be my next video, but until my next video, I'll see you guys next time.